Hello everyone, today I'm going to be watching what really happened with YAYVIDEOGAMES by Nightmare Expo. I don't know what's about, but let's go. I mean, based on what he made so far, I watched, I think, 4 disturbing things around the internet of him and the Chronicles of Reddit. But yeah, let's see what this one is about. Jesus. Oh, the music. Oh, the opening. I love it. I've been listening to this while studying. Though I didn't really study that much, so it's been like 2 minutes, 4 minutes. But the full version is so good. So what is this EI?
Let's throw it back a bit. On August 7th of 2017, I released my first true collaboration with fellow horror creator Rainbot, titled The Dark Side of Reddit. This was, as the title suggests, a dive into the deeper, darker side of the website, although in hindsight, especially compared to some things we've since covered, it does seem relatively tame. The video primarily digs into Reddit stories, specifically covering one about a guy who thinks his mother poisoned him, another about a guy who found a weird camera under his sink, and third, a weird subreddit that gives links to unsecured home security cameras. While these are all pretty strange and unnerving, there was one mystery in that video. This enigmatic fourth one that successfully left me completely dumbfounded at a cause and possible explanation. This has bothered me so much that it's stuck with me ever since I initially discovered it.
What the fuck is this?
Way back during the infancy of this channel.
Spam over again.
The YAYVIDEOGAMES incident. If you don't recall, I touched on the actual Reddit thread that this user cryptically posted in and walked you through the scenario that played out. Other than that though, I didn't give you any sort of resolution. And that would be, well, because I didn't have one. I simply couldn't figure it out, no matter how deep I dig into it.
Okay, wait a second. I need to see what this was about before even trying to. What did he say? Dark side of Reddit. Nightmare Expo. Yeah, let's see. Give me a second. Okay, let's first watch this. YAYVIDEOGAMES, The Dark Side of Reddit. Jesus.
A user by the name of YAYVIDEOGAMES seemed to be active on many gaming subreddits before a stunt on one post that resulted in him getting banned. A few years ago, a user named I Wish I Was a Meme made a post in the gaming subreddit asking what everyone's favorite mods were for Elder Scrolls Oblivion. As expected, users chimed in with their
There's a 2 months basically makes you level like a traditional RPG with skill points to a lot. It's really
recommendations on what to install. However, things began to get a bit weird when YAYVIDEOGAMES responded. His initial response seemed quite normal and sarcastic and read, "The uninstall button. The game is great and all that, but god, it is hard to fully remove all the junk it leaves behind on your system. You really need to check out that mod when the time comes to get rid of it. Otherwise, I think Ascuro's Oblivion overhaul is a nice start."
Wait, Oblivion leaves a lot of... How is this supposed to be here?
Now, this is nothing out of the ordinary, right?
Yeah.
I thought so too. A user, who since deleted their account, responded with a simple "what?", which prompted YAYVIDEOGAMES to reply with this. "The uninstall button. The game is great. Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye always on DRM. But you oft go work. Always on work DR. Check out the junk it leaves behind in you."
In you? How is Oblivion related to Ubisoft by any means?
Now after reading this, we can assume that he must have been carelessly typing, or he could have been tired or something like that. Still, nothing too out of the ordinary. The other guy we mentioned then responds once more stating this. That makes even less sense. Oblivion has an uninstall button and it works. I've used it more times than I care to mention. All mods install themselves in Oblivion's directory. The uninstall doesn't touch them as it's unaware. All you do is delete the Oblivion
Just
directory.
use the Nexus mods.
After this, it just begins to get weird. YAYVIDEOGAMES then begins responding with the same phrase, "Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye bye, always on DRM," over and over to the point where he floods the guy's comment thread with countless replies stating that same phrase. Jumping over to another post in gaming by another user who since deleted their account, we can see a post titled, "Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye bye, always on DRM," which contains a link to a page which now 404s. In this thread, we can see a few groups of people. 1. People actually talking about Ubisoft and their apparent split from DRM on their games. 2. People freaking out and wondering what the hell's going on. And 3. YAYVIDEOGAMES and a congregation of other users repeatedly posting different spins on that same phrase.
It's him though. Wait, all of those usernames is him.
Now right here, you might initially be able to pass this guy off as a spammer, and to be quite honest, I felt the same way. It, however, gets interesting when you realize the fact that this guy commented this mess over 4,000 times.
Okay, I got chills. How the fuck is that possible?
Not only does he do that, he also formats each comment differently, with some being self-referential, some containing bold, some containing italics, some containing links, and the vast majority, if not all of them, having unique spelling and length. This guy did more than copy and paste, and to be quite honest, it doesn't stop there.
Oh, why would he do that?
I just mentioned that YAYVIDEOGAMES had included links in his comments, and I wanted to share some of those with you. As we can see, the links are sporadically placed within letters and random assortments of words that all take a spin on his initial phrase. Each link takes us to an image that seems to get more and more disturbing and weird as we go along. Now, as we can see, most of these appear to be
what the fuck?
completely random, and there are honestly quite a few that come off as pretty funny. We have one that depicts a drawing of Asian people laughing in underwear while others standing across from them appear to be holding an imaginary gun. We have one that depicts a person in a witch hat with an explosion in the background. There's another that shows a lady pouring milk onto the ground, and there's another that appears
what the fuck
to be a distorted person diving into the ground on a beach. It's honestly pretty random, however it gets interesting when we discover the fact that embedded in one of his comments is this. Now at this point, this seems to be
oh my
god,
so what the fuck?
1. We have an unknown person who seemed to have undergone a change of some sort, leading him to post the same phrase over and over again. 2. The person seems to have self-referential and uniquely formatted comments that would take some time to make.
This is
and
like
3,
a serial killer's mentality.
A random assortment of bizarre images embedded throughout, with the most notable one being the actual writing of the same phrase that's being posted. Nobody seems to be able to have any explanation for this, although there are many theories that have been thrown around, ranging from a guy who actually snapped and went insane, to a very sophisticated bot that ran the helm of this entire fiasco. Lastly, if anyone tries to access his Reddit profile, they'll simply be met with the 404, and that's it.
Did they kill him? Okay. So wait, that was... Oh my, okay, now they're going to go deeper. So because that video was like a selection of bits about YAYVIDEOGAMES. And this is like the full dive in. Boy. Oh my god. Okay, the images were weird. A bit creepy. But that whiteboard is outright chilling. Whoa. That's so weird.
Case, and that just didn't sit well with me. That is, until now. You see, there's a user on Reddit by the name of SoLegitHS that discovered this mystery through my subreddit and decided to do some investigating of their own. Since then, they've stumbled upon a goldmine of a rabbit hole that just might finally put this long-time internet mystery to rest. Now, if you have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on here, and what the deal is with this random Reddit user that I'm rambling on about, then don't worry. I'll get you caught up with the initial incident so you aren't left behind in confusion.
Okay.
So, buckle down, because tonight, we finally get to the bottom of this, as we solve the mystery of YAYVIDEOGAMES.
I bet he just hates DRMs. Everyone hates it. Jesus Christ.
So, The story and initial exposure of Yay Video Games originates way back in 2010. Essentially, this is the Reddit handle of a user that appeared to go absolutely insane, seemingly out of nowhere, during a conversation about Elder Scrolls Oblivion with another user. On September 8th, 2010, there was a post in the gaming subreddit by a user named I Wish I Was a Meme
Oh, he gives
that
a
simply
briefing,
asked
okay.
about users' favorite mods for Elder Scrolls Oblivion. In response, Yay Video Games jumped in with this snarky remark. The uninstall button. The game is great and all that, but god, it's hard to fully remove the junk it leaves behind on your system. You really need to check out that mod when the time comes to get rid of it. Otherwise, I think Ascuro's Oblivion overhaul is a nice start. Another user with a deleted account then jumped in afterwards with a simple, "What?" To which Yay Video Games responds once more, saying this. The uninstall button. The game is great.
Oh my god, now it gives me chills by just watching this.
But you off to go work. Always on work DR.
Because
Check out the junk it leaves
this is
behind
how
on
it
you.
got started, but
The deleted
why?
user responded once more in confusion. This makes even less sense. Oblivion has an uninstall button and it works. I've used it more times than I care to mention. All mods install themselves in Oblivion's directory. The uninstall doesn't touch them as it's unaware. All you do is delete the Oblivion directory. And then it gets weird. Yay Video Games, at this point, proceeded to post over 4,000 comments in the span of just a few hours. Each and every one of them seemed to be a spin on his odd initial phrase. Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM. The thing is, each comment was formatted differently. Some with bold, some with italics, some with special formatting, and even some with embedded links to very, very cryptic images that seem to make no sense
What the fuck is
at
that
all.
face with eyes?
One of the most notable images
tears
is one that shows his
and
quote
nose.
in very eerie handwriting, thus leaving people to think that this guy is suffering from some sort of manic episode. In essence, he shut down this entire thread with non-stop spam.
God. Damn it.
His account was quickly banned during this, and since then, the
No
thread
shit.
was deleted. Attempting to visit his Reddit profile simply results in a 404, since he also proceeded to delete his entire account sometime afterwards. This didn't stop speculation though. With mouths agape, people were scrambling to figure out what the hell it was that they'd just witnessed, and much of it led to dead ends.
I'm
Analyze
kind
the
of
creepy
scared.
images?
Oh, me too, bro.
Nope, most of them are totally random. Other websites with the same username? Interesting, but nothing of value. Cryptic message in the quote. Nope. It just seems like a spin on an actual DRM situation that occurred a few years ago with Steamworks. Unfortunately, as you might have guessed, he and his mystery have simply faded into obscure internet history. People haven't forgotten about it, but they haven't exactly solved it either. It's one of those things that seemed like it'd never be figured out. That is, like I said, until now.
Okay.
The user SoLegitHS dug through the internet archive of Yay Video Games posts and found a very interesting connection to another
Wi-Fi.
subreddit that holds the key to unlocking the safe that our answers are being held in. The one in question is simply titled r/cleanliness.
Cleanliness. What is that has to do with Steamworks bye-bye guy? Cleanliness. The post history and cleanliness
So?
connection. Okay.
Let's head over there.
Let's go.
At first glance, this subreddit seems to be pretty barren. There's no subdescription, there's no custom banner, the webpage title is a cryptic "This is what," and there's only one mod, being a user by the name of No Substance Here. Scrolling through allows us to stumble upon some pretty random posts about bad sanitation that people have encountered in their daily lives, whether they be accompanied by photos or a simple text story. Really, not much more than that. The thing is though, Yay Video Games is here, and right under our nose. Back in 2012,
is this the mod?
he made a post in this sub titled Magic. In it, he says, "I need some help. I would not use it evilly." Now, this is pretty much just as cryptic as the Ubisoft Go Steamworks ordeal that took place 2 years prior to this.
Evilly.
If he were just some
That's
random
only the weird
troll
thing here.
or was doing this for attention, then why would he continue to post cryptic things onto a subreddit with virtually no subscribers at all? How did he even find this sub to begin with?
He's a spy, CIA
look at some other
agent? I don't
posts.
know. I don't really know.
Here's one from 2 years earlier by the Soul mod that we mentioned earlier. Zelda. Let's see what this guy has to say about Zelda and how, if at all, it has any relation to the topic.
Why?
Cleanliness.
What?
Strange repetitive wordage, embedded links. Alright, we've seen this before. So here, we have a very cryptic, quote, conversation between two users. Our moderator, No Substance here,
Oh, this is
and this
so
other person
much, so a
named
spy
Not
works.
sure how big you are. Also, randomly thrown into the mix is yet another comment by a user named Final Record. Let's take a look into these accounts to see what we can dig up.
Can you check out the links? Maybe there are more images. The other accounts. No substance here.
So interestingly, No Substance here has a few seemingly normal threads that they've started over in the gaming subreddit. In one of them, he asks about cheat codes, in another, he asks about a game you'd buy twice, and in this third one, he inquires about everyone's favorite game soundtrack. Each of these got quite a few responses, and nothing really seems all that out of the ordinary here.
Okay.
The one connection that I can make between each of these posts that could be seen as repetitive would be this phrase here, being, "The interrogation room underwent some changes while you were away." Now, I wonder what this means. Probably because the rest of
It's a response to 3 different
his overview
questions.
draws us
the
back to the
same
cleanliness
answer.
subreddit that we saw earlier, and most of the other comments are from that thread with a strange conversation between he and Not Sure How Big You Are. Interestingly though, if you look over at the subreddits that he moderates, we can see that there are 2 of them.
Banana freaks.
Cleanliness and banana freaks.
What?
Let's take a look.
What's that?
Alright, so
What
this
the
one is kind of
fuck
funny,
is
I'll
this?
admit. Here we have 2 image threads,
Jesus
both of
Christ.
which are from No Substance here themselves. In one of them, we can see a hot dog whispering into a weird looking man's ear with the caption "Dirty Freak," and in the other, we can see a photo of Cheeto Puffs, labeled as banana freaks.
Funny that Nightmare Expo's definition of funny is that creepy ass image of the hot dog. What is
Now,
wrong
the
with you,
connection that I
dude?
wanted to make here doesn't lie in the posts themselves, but rather the comments. Not Sure How Big You Are commented on both of these threads on a subreddit that's practically unknown to the rest of the world. Either these 2 people are one and the same, or the 2 are extremely close and are for some reason planning all this out. With that being said, let's dig into the other account to see what we can find.
Oh my god, the amount of digging this motherfucker
So
did.
this account
Jesus,
has a
like,
ton, and I mean a ton of post history to dig through. This guy seemed to be extremely active on this account, so for brevity's sake, we're going to have to draw some generalizations here moving forward. From the top here, Not Sure How Big You Are is a moderator of 2 subreddits, being Humorless Classical and Hipster Jokes. Humorless Classical simply contains 1 post by the account, and it's simply of the subreddit name with 1 comment on it saying, "LOL, right?"
oh, what the fuck? Okay, this is so weird. So, I assume, yeah, there is a post of the link of the subreddit that the post is in, of the link of the subreddit that the post is in. And the creator of the post says LOL, right? What the fuck is this?
Other than that, the rest of the subreddit seems to be spam about free movies and all that jazz. Really nothing all that interesting. Jumping over to Hipster Jokes is where things become interesting. Here, we can see that this subreddit has only 9 subscribers at the time of writing, and all of them seem to be this guy. None of these posts make any sort of sense, which is something that we've come to accept by this
Oh
point
my
in time
god,
down this
what the
rabbit hole.
fuck?
And these posts just seem to go on and on with repetitive randomness. Fishing through the comments on a few of these posts though, leads us to an interesting find. Like we've established, this repetitive behavior is commonplace for Reddit users that we're finding to be directly related to YAYVIDEOGAMES, so ignore that for a second, and take a look at the content of the comments themselves.
It's him responding to himself. Vinyl, mixtape, cassette.
I had it before on vinyl. You should hear it on cassette. Make me a mixtape. I have this word. You probably haven't heard it. It's pretty underground. On vinyl. I'm on vinyl. I liked it before it was mainstream. Before it was popular. Before it was mainstream. What is the deal with this guy and his obsession with vinyl, hipster jokes, and repetition?
Dude, this is like an alien talking in alien or a spy talking in code. Or just a high dude with too much time. Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, how is... there is no relation between the two. Unless if you try to make a long stretch and make assumptions about the one... Okay, the way he went though, is like 3 subreddits connected by one mod, and YAYVIDEOGAMES posted on one of the subreddits. So
I know that this sub is titled Hipster Jokes.
Or of course
point, but this guy is the only one here.
Oh, my eyes hurt.
Or is he? Remember that one account that we briefly mentioned earlier, Vinyl Record? I nearly glossed over his name in the comment thread while I was reading it, because it's exhibiting the exact same behavior as Not Sure How Big You Are.
Get me every time.
Before we take a look into that account, I want to briefly head back to the overview section of this guy's profile page and make a quick generalization. This account is pretty heavily active on threads relating to Big Pharma and various drugs.
Xanax.
Glossing over his history allows us to see that this guy has either quite a bit of experience with these or quite a few issues that he's dealing with in relation to various medication. Just some food for thought. Moving on. So, this guy, scrolling through his post history, once we get past all the I'm on vinyl, I'm on vinyl, I'm on vinyl, and ha 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 hipster, those jokes get me every time, post repetitions, we can actually see that he has quite a few normal comments on some threads, very reminiscent of YAYVIDEOGAMES, and Not Sure How Big You Are. Now, while this is the case, there was a point in time about 8 years ago that lines up with the YAYVIDEOGAME situation, where he seems to swap from somewhat normal-ish comments to total nonsense with repetitive replies to Not Sure How Big You Are's threads about hipsters. With that being said, there's one specific comment thread that I want to point out before we jump into a quick recap. Being this one right here.
Hipster Fashion Cycle.
In a post titled Hipster Fashion Cycle by a user named Mayanessa, we can see that Vinyl Record responds to a comment saying one of his typical lines, being, I have this chart on vinyl.
What?
Clearly
what
being a hipster joke. Many other people responded with shitposts before a very, very familiar face pops in.
Oh shit!
Now what do we have here?
Wait. Oh Jesus! Wait a second. Did YAYVIDEOGAME respond to that by the legendary sentence? Ubisoft goes, Steamworks by always on your... Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, this rabbit hole is too deep.
Here?
Jesus. The connection.
Alright, so let's recap. We have YAYVIDEOGAME Snap in that original thread 8 years ago on the gaming subreddit. He spams in repetitions with spins on the phrase, Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye bye, always on DRM. His post history leads us to the Cleanliness subreddit, run by a user named No Substance Here, who also moderates a subreddit called Banana Freaks. The Banana Freaks subreddit has responses from a user by the name of Not Sure How Big You Are, and this guy makes quite a few hipster jokes on his Hipster Jokes subreddit, all with responses from a user by the name of Vinyl Record. This Vinyl Record user seems to frequent the gaming subreddit as well, with seemingly normal comments back around the time the YAYVIDEOGAMES incident happened. And conveniently, in one of these threads that he commented on with a vinyl joke, YAYVIDEOGAMES busts in and hijacks the thread, bringing this thing full circle. I think it's safe to say at this point that each and every one of these profiles are absolutely and undoubtedly the same person. I mean, look at their names for example, all random words tied together, all capitalized very precisely, with the exception of YAYVIDEOGAMES, and all exhibiting the same behavior on each other's thread.
YAYVIDEOGAMES is like his main account.
What happened? Why is this person the way he is?
Or the oldest. Because probably made it when he was
a few moments ago I told you that
younger.
we were going to make a quick generalization based off of Not Sure How Big You Are's post history regarding Big Pharma and their frequent comments on various pharmaceutical related threads and subreddits. On this account, he undoubtedly had the longest and most comprehensive post history, so it's safe to say that this was likely YAYVIDEOGAMES' main account.
Oh, okay.
With that being said, this all seems like the most damning evidence that we have to go off of to learn more about this guy. So let's go back and take a look at his stuff in further detail.
Okay. So he drug abuse? Was he just high?
Like I said prior, initially scrubbing through his post history seems incredibly overwhelming. This guy was extremely active throughout the past 8 years, and it's hard to pinpoint specific comments or threads to focus on. Before we proceed, I want to make a quick point. I noticed a trend when going through his posts and comments. The repetitions that this guy exhibits honestly seem to be isolated incidents, and interestingly, from about 6 years ago to the present, nothing too out of the ordinary seems to happen. 6 years ago we have an incident with repetitions, 7 years ago we have quite a few episodes, and 8 years ago we can find many, many more.
What the fuck is the face?
It almost seems like whatever caused this guy to act this way was triggered by something. But what? There are a few threads and comments by him that can give us some answers. And to start, so we can establish some sort of foundation with this, I want to focus on this one here.
Melbourne, Victoria, Australia.
Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Spare bed here. If you don't mind an over-medicated chronic pain sufferer being generally irritable, of course. I'm an ex-Jehovah's Witness myself, which if you aren't familiar with them, sort of makes someone automatically accustomed to people being rendered homeless due to an oppressive religious environment. Almost went through it myself back when. So, straight off the bat here, he seems to be from Melbourne, he suffers from chronic pain, is overly medicated, and is an ex-Jehovah's Witness.
Shit.
So, what kind of pain is he dealing with exactly? From the Chronic Fatigue Syndrome subreddit, there's a post by a user named GC30, which cryptically asks, "How do I get out of this hole?" In response, Not Sure How Big You Are says this: "Well, this is how I endured the pain of recovering 6 lost years of life due to sickness. I endured a terror that ravaged me with each step outside I took, that almost and occasionally did make me break down crying in panic just because I was exercising. A pain that awaited me for hours during the day while I waited in bed with nothing to do except sit in pain, just so I could exhaust myself by walking a few blocks or lift weights for a few minutes, and then go back to bed and wait for my reason for being to come again the next day. The total lack of any enjoyable activity whatsoever, total inability to even feel pleasure, panic that drove me to waking so often that I was sleeping in 2-hour blocks at a time, restless legs that has driven me crazy 24/7 for about a decade now due to human waste who called himself a doctor and gave a young teenager a dose of antipsychotics because hey, why bother trying anything else first when the person in front of you is a delusional idiot, right? A back that never ever stopped aching, tearing me up on the level of a middle grade flu maybe, but stiffened every single muscle. And, well, you get the picture."
Jesus Christ, man.
So he suffered from chronic pain that left him bedridden in his home. He was unable to feel pleasure, he had restless leg syndrome, was highly delusional, and seemed to be on antipsychotics by his doctor. In one last post that I want to touch on before we begin to theorize, he talks about a supposedly warped worldview that he had while he was a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay, this is... okay, I feel uncomfortable because, like... I thought... he is not, but like he was high, maybe he was like having an issue or something. This is getting serious, like this is getting absolutely serious. I kind of feel guilty.
In a post by Reddit user Garbanzo607, Not Sure How Big You Are responds to the question, "What warped worldview did you have while you were in JW?" by saying this.
Shit.
I believe that actual demons were roaming the earth, manifesting themselves horror movie style. I know that's a core teaching, more or less, but for a few years I thought I actually encountered a demon once, and that they were watching me in my dreams. See, I used to get pretty sick semi-regularly, with migraines and fevers bad enough to make me delirious and give me hallucinations. When I was around 4 or 5, I was in bed at night with one of these fevers, and I saw one of the walls in my bedroom start shimmering and warping itself. Then, a silhouetted black figure stepped out of the wall and started pacing back and forth in front of it. Naturally, I was scared shitless. I couldn't even move. I just laid there, watching it walk in front of my wall for I don't know how long before it stopped pacing and stood, looking directly at me until I couldn't make it out anymore from all the patterns and movement in the wall behind it. I actually managed to get back to sleep after that, probably thanks to the fever. So when I woke up, I went straight to my mom to tell her what I saw, and she told me it was all real, and that all the terrible pictures I was drawing, monsters torturing people and whatnot,
Oh
broke
my
Jehovah's
god.
protection and invited the demon into my room.
What the
Now,
fuck
with
would
all
you
this in mind,
you say to
we're
a
able to make some
child?
connections about this guy and what he's been going through for most of his life. I really think that this guy has been suffering with some sort of delirium that could somehow be related to his chronic fatigue syndrome. In his posts, we're able to draw the conclusions that he's been dealing with this for most of his life. It's impacted his home life, his social life, and even his perception of reality entirely. He explains that when he was 4 or 5, he would hallucinate and would legitimately believe that demons were after him in real life. In the post that we just read, he explains that the walls would warp in on themselves and it would, quote, scare him shitless. The thing is though, is that his mother went along with it. She seemed to, at least with the posts that were given, use this fear to further her personal beliefs as a Jehovah's Witness. Now, I'm no expert in that religion or anything, and I'm not entirely sure what their teachings are, but telling a kid that the demons that they think they're experiencing are real can definitely scar someone for life. Anyway, somewhere down the line, this condition had progressed, completely left untreated under his parents' care, since, like we just established, she did very little to get him actual help.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few years, and the doctor prescribes him what he calls antipsychotics in hopes of helping out, but as we know from his other post, these didn't help much at all. Fast forward a bit in his life and he ends up trying opiates to combat it. In another post that he made, titled +1 for drugs, he explains that he was taking up to 1,200 milligrams of codeine per day, all of which simply helped him cope with his
Codeine?
condition.
Pure
Now, we're
codeine.
beginning to dip into the post-incident portion of his life, and interestingly, this thread that he created gives us some sort of closure. In it, he explains that he was living in a, quote, chemical torture room house that was coated in stainless steel, and has since gotten out of it to help himself live a better life.
What the fuck?
After this point in time in his post history, we're also able to notice that the strange repetitive posting incidents, where he's going on multiple accounts, repeating the same phrases over and over, and essentially talking to himself, seem to cease, almost entirely. With all of this in mind, it's safe to assume that the actual culprit behind all of the strange post history and the YAYVIDEOGAMES incident itself were all triggered by his attempts at coping with his chronic fatigue syndrome with various different narcotics and pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I get it.
It's likely that these all caused him to fall into a mental state where he simply wasn't all there.
Like he's
And as a
looping or
result,
something.
The internet promptly took notice and was immensely creeped out by it. Since then, this guy has sort of fallen off the face of Reddit. YAYVIDEOGAMES was terminated, Not Sure How Big You Are's last post was about 4 years ago, No Substance Here stopped about 5 or so years ago, and Vinyl Records stopped around 2012. In a way, the internet has served as somewhat of a diary for this guy, and it's borderline depressing reading through his post history and backstory. What we all perceived as creepy, ominous, and puzzling was simply a guy trying to cope with his life full of hell. It all started from back when he was a kid. Not Sure How Big You Are, or No Substance Here, or Vinyl Record, or YAYVIDEOGAMES, or whatever you'd like to call him, was never a bot. He was never a shitposter. He was never a disturbed lunatic. He was simply a guy with an immensely deep backstory that was doing his best to cope with the unfortunate circumstances plaguing his health. And that's it.
Wait, that's it?
Before we wrap things up, I want to make it clear that this was all a theory on what this guy went through. I wasn't able to dig through the pages and pages of the 8 years of his post history, so there was quite a lot that was either generalized or glossed over. As always, I highly recommend that you go over to the links in the description and do some reading of your own. Also, I'd like to go forth and state that this video was supplemented immensely by one of my viewers, SoLegitHS, who has a Twitter and a Reddit account with these handles, so if you'd like to get in contact or follow him for any further developments, definitely head over and do so.
2018.
Anyway guys, with that being said, this is where I'll wrap up the tale of Yay Video Games. I'm so glad that we're finally able to get some answers on this, and I hope that we can confidently close the book on this supposed internet mystery for good. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all.
That was really good. Thanks. Oh my god. It started creepy and like weird. Then just very depressing. Like, I mean, I feel bad for the dude now. Like, holy shit, what the fuck? Just the ex-Jehovah's Witness who was in chronic pain and mental pain seems like a decent amount of it. Like, Jesus Christ. Let me see the video. Yay Video Games Night Expo. Let's see some of the description. Massive thanks to So Legit. The original thread, let's see. Just got Oblivion for PC. What are your favorite mods to make this game as pimped out and awesome as I can? Oh god, I did that a lot with the Skyrim. So where is the Yay video game? Yeah, right here. The uninstall button. Oh, this is so weird. Okay, look. This is so weird. Like, oh my god, the amount he has platinum. Oh my god. Look how weird it. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is legitimately creepy. Like, if you like, just imagine what the other, like, those people thought on that day. What the fuck, man? 10 years ago. Jesus. Oh my god. They immediately downvoted too. I mean, sound like a spam. What else? What is the comments? What are the comments saying? Oh my god. The pinned comment is Nightmare Expo. Oh Jesus Christ. They're spamming this. Imagine a world where that guy never said what. It would be a sad word. Rip. Lyndon. Wacho. Yay Video Games. If you didn't know, he committed suicide. I'm so sorry he had to go through so many trouble things. What? What the fuck? Is this legit? Yeah, investigation. We have unearthed the secrets of a near decade-old mystery. I think there's much left to uncover from today. So it will be locked. This means there will be rest in peace, Hayden. Shit. You committed suicide. That makes it more fucked up. Oh god. At least it's solved. Oh my god, Jesus. It would be somber for me to actually go and like read them now. I mean, whew. But yeah, I mean, I would love to check out more creepier stuff from Nightmare Expo, but goddamn, he's legitimate. He is like the Matt Pat of creepiness, like the real stuff, rather than just gaming stuff like that. But yeah, he digged really a decent amount just to get to that. But yeah, if you have any other suggestion, creepy videos, interesting, weird videos, put it in the comment section or Discord. But yeah, for now, that's it. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. For now, have a nice day and goodbye. I said for now, try.